Okay, so you've read chapter 2 or lesson 2 from the grants book, and you're like, holy cow, there are a lot of grants out there, and some of them seem really complex and really like this is going to be a huge learning curve. Holy cow, right? I took this same class when I was going into my PhD program, and it overwhelmed me. I remember looking at my first grant, my first National Science Foundation grant proposal, the request for proposals, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy," right? But I didn't need to get that worried, really. As a teacher, really, I'm not looking for some large $1 million grant. I'm just looking for something to start me out. And hopefully, if you read that commentary piece, you understand that some of these things can start out very, very small. And then when people see that you're successful, money starts to flow. Other people start to say, hey, have you heard about this grant? You could get this with this grant. So really what you're looking for this class is a start. Unless you already know of some really great national or maybe Virginia or Board of Education, U.S. Board of Education grant that you want to do and you already have it in your head, we're looking for something that is easy to find, that will be rather easy to write compared to a 40-page single-spaced NSF proposal. Okay? So first of all, I want to put you at ease. All right, so now we're here looking at this NSTA just because, this is the journal that is a practitioner journal. A lot of people will write for an NSTA journal if they are a science teacher, and they'll share their best and favorite lessons with a national audience. But understanding that, this is a good resource in which to find great grants for teachers of science. And it would be the same for any content area. You find your one national top journal for teachers, and you just click in the search spot and just put down grants and see what comes up. So for this one, we've got so many different grants. One is grants up to $500. These are just small grants. It probably won't be, I know it won't be 40 pages, single spaced. And it's probably something that you can just talk about, exactly what it's asking you to do here. And when you click on this, it would take you to that grant application and the website. But then here we go, it starts getting bigger, $5,000 to $100,000 grants. And these can be all the way across the board. And it looks like they've even, on this site, they've divided them up into grade levels. So this is one way to easily find some grants that might be good for your content area. Now, let's just say, hey, you know what? They said something about corporate people possibly giving grants. I've got a Toyota vehicle. I really love it. Let's see if they'll give me some money. And then you go to Toyota and you see, oh my gosh, they give grants for education. And I go down here and I say, well, gosh, how am I going to apply? Let's see, Missouri, Indiana, Kentucky. What's closest to me? Maybe it's West Virginia. So I'm going to click here. And when I click there, guess what? It comes up, the first one is that I can do education. These are the ones that they actually primarily fund. But when I scroll down, I'm getting kind of excited because, wow, this could be great. This is really going to work for me. And then I get down here and it says, wait a second, the geographic scope for these are Putnam, Cabell, Jackson, all these different places, and I'm not in them. And it says, wait a second, statewide programs in West Virginia will be considered but limited. Tri-state area. Tri-state, is that me? So if I have any questions, I'm going to have to probably call and say, hey, look, this is where we are. Is it going to work for me to even submit one? Because what you don't want to do is not read through all these things about eligibility and write a big, long, drawn-out grant proposal. And then come to find out they don't even look at it because you're not from these places. Okay? So even though Toyota looks like they want to fund some really cool stuff, they're not going to fund me because I'm not in the right spot. Okay? But I might even want to just call in and make sure. Okay, then since I know I focus on science, but I'm closer to environmental education, I just searched my EPA. And I came up with, so I went to the EPA site. There's the EPA site. I searched for grants. They come up with my specific, I see VA, that's me. So I click on that one, and up comes lots of different grants. Well, one big grant, but it tells me exactly what to do. And this one's a big one, or it can be a big one. And it'll probably mean I'm going to have a lot of writing to do and objectives and all that good stuff. But this is exactly, well, these are several different ways to go looking for your grants. You know, you look at your content area, your major organization, educational organization from that. Maybe you just do a Google search for the type of discipline that you like to teach a lot. So if you're a science teacher, maybe you're earth science, but you really like environmental education, maybe you search for that little niche area. So you go to organizations that you know, like the EPA or even the Department of Environmental Quality in your locale. Same thing with Toyota. You know, hey, just choose a corporation you trust or you like. See if they've got some grants for you. Okay, so these are just different ways. You want to scan over these things rather quickly. Don't just get bogged down in one that you find somewhat interesting, but you know it's not going to work for you. You know, scan them over until you find several that are close, and then start reading closely. Okay, but this should be it's kind of a tedious thing, but it can get you really excited when you find that one grant that you're like, holy cow, I might be able to get this money and really make what my dream program, I can bring it to life with this money. That would be amazing, right? So get encouraged, go out there, search, and find something great. All right.